This entrepreneur has just taught me the 5 things you need to know to reach anyone, anywhere, anytime. I mean anyone. If you're complaining that you can't make your business work because you haven't reached the person you're trying to get hold of, this is the podcast for you. Before we get started, maybe give people a little bit of background about what you do.
Yeah, so I'm an entrepreneur. I've started about 10 years ago, failed a few businesses, and then about 8 years ago, I started building software. Lemlist is a sales automation platform, the most famous one, that has been valued at $150 million a few years ago.
What were the first few steps? Can you quickly tell people what you did?
So essentially, the first step was to define who was our ideal customer profile. We were in a very competitive market. Most people believe that when you're in a competitive market or when you have competitors, it's a bad sign. I actually think it's the opposite.
Yeah.
It means that...
Proves there's a market.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
Proves there's a market. It proves there's a need. You just need to be different. So first step was, what's our differentiator? So we basically focused, because I knew a lot about sales prospecting, I knew that the most important part was personalization. So we built a platform around personalization so our users could essentially get better results. That was the value proposition. And then it was understanding our ideal customer profile. So basically our ideal clients. And for that, I decided to focus at first on really founders and agencies, because it was a segment that was underserved. Mm-hmm. So my idea was to create something that was really perfectly fitted their needs. That's how we got started.
Maybe you were a genius. Maybe you knew to focus on founders and agencies. But people are listening. What do you think is the system? What would you suggest people think about?
I think the first step is, once you have identified the problem you want to solve, the important second step is to think of who do you like working with. Because typically, if you're solving a problem for, I don't know, like a marketing manager, and you hate working with marketing manager for some reason, you're never going to work. Because building a business, and I think you know it, we were talking about content creation and how much time it takes. You need to be true to yourself. True. So for me, I knew deep down that I wanted to help founders. I knew and I understood their struggle. And for a simple reason is I also was in the target market of the product that I was building.
Any other tips in Define when people are trying to figure it out?
I would say the best way is to start talking to people and interviewing different type of persona. And very quickly, you're going to see who you resonate with a lot and who you want to serve.
I don't know what you think about this, but also maybe defining via pricing is an interesting one.
I think it's very smart. I think the way I would go with it is to first see what belief you have in yourself and belief you have in your skills. Because the reality is, when I got started, typically, I didn't have a lot of belief in my skills. So for me, what I wanted, and I wasn't so confident in pricing my services at a very high price. So I think you see a lot of advice on the internet that tells you price equal value, you should price high, do not work with small companies, etc. And obviously in the long run, they are right. And you've done the experiment yourself. But I think in the early days, what matters the most is the experience you're going to get and the confidence you're going to build. Mm-hmm. And I think the only way to build confidence is to prove yourself with actual results that you are capable of doing it. And the reality is that when you price low, you tend to attract a lot more people and it's a lot easier to close deals. Okay,
let's move on to finding customers, because I think for a lot of people, that is the tough one, right? So how did you go about finding customers and what's your insight there?
Yeah, so I think whenever you have an agency, you are going to work with other companies. So let's say you want to work with medium businesses, and you target marketing managers. The way I would go for it is I would just go on LinkedIn, and then I would look at, all the marketing manager in maybe smaller companies, and I would try to segment them per industry. And usually the way I would go with it is I would look at my existing customers and I would look at the one that have found the most value in my service, and I would try to replicate that in the same industry. That way it's a lot easier. So typically, I don't know if we're going to take big names, so people can really have a feel for it. But let's say you work for Coca-Cola, and then now you can reach out to Pepsi. It would make sense, because if you reach out to Coca, it's going to resonate that, you understand the sodas and this kind of things. When you get started, if we take the case, because I guess in your audience, a lot of people might be wondering if they want to start or not. The best way and the first way is to really look at your phone, in your Facebook friends, in your Instagram friends, if you know someone who knows someone.
Right, then they can introduce you to the right person. Yeah.
That's usually like the best first step. And at first, actually, like if you have 0 customers, the way I would do sales prospecting, it's not by selling your services. It's just about interviewing people. So what you would do is like, I'm interested about this specific problem for marketing manager. Do you know any marketing manager I could talk with for 15 or 20 minutes? And during this 15 or 20 minutes, while you talk with the person, because it's just an interview and they don't feel like they are getting sold on something, you ask them all the questions about the problem to understand whether or not you can bring a solution. And if you can bring a solution at the end of this interview, you can say, by the way, thanks a lot for your time. I've learned a lot. I'm working on a project or on a service that can solve XYZ that you mentioned. I'm not sure if that is of interest for you, but if it is, just give me a call. And by doing this, it's usually a great way to meet with a broad range of people, because people, whenever they get an intro to help someone, you know, with like, I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes to talk about their problems, they're usually happy to do so. And if you have a solution and you connected with them on a like emotional level, it's usually easy to close the deal after that. But the reality is like, it's not only about finding, it's about convincing him to come. It's all about, you know, asking the question like, what's in it for him?
How did we convince you?
I think like the first step of convincing someone, I think it's like, I call this the triangle of trust, and it's based on 3 parts. So the first part, it's the foundation of the triangle. It's the emotional connection. So you have like a strong Instagram page. I knew you from before. I watch your videos, and the emotional connection is basically like your likability. You're doing great things. You're helping many entrepreneurs. You have a cool vibe on video. So I was like, okay, the emotional connection obviously is here. Then there is credibility. So what have you done in the past that gives you enough credibility for me to want to meet with you? And I think it's obviously helping that many entrepreneurs, helping people realize their dream. And finally, reliability. So when you make a promise, do you deliver on it? And again, I think through your content, we can see that you have all 3. So the trust building was definitely there. And I think this is why I encourage a lot of people to create content. Once you create content, you share a window into your personality with the world. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to have like millions or tens of millions of views. Very often, I see like creators with maybe like 10 views, 5 likes or whatever, but at least when they reach out to me, I can look at their page and I can see like the video, how they present, and instantly I can see whether or not the trust is built. So that's like the first step. Then it's what's in it for me. And obviously you have like a massive audience. So when you reach out, you mentioned like the amount of followers you have, the amount of views. So it gives visibility. And then it's all about timing. So it's what's in it for me, and why me, why now? Me, because obviously I can help your audience with sales prospecting, because that's what I've been doing for the last 10 years. And why now? You're in Paris for just 24 hours. So it's a perfect timing, and I have to decide very quickly.
Tools. Let's talk about the tools that people need to know about, including your own business tools. And this is not an ad for anyone, you know, who's watching this. This is purely, we love the product. That's why we're here. So feel free to talk about your own tools too. But what tools do you think people can use to figure this all out?
I think like the first step to find like email addresses, etc., you have thousands of Chrome extensions on the market that you can use. So you go on LinkedIn, and with the Chrome extension, you can find the email address of the person you want to reach out to. What we did with our Chrome extension at Lemlist is we took all the tools that exist, and basically we put them in the backend and we create a waterfall. So if one tool don't find it, we go to the next one and the next one and the next one. So that's kind of like an easier way for people to make sure to find the right data. And then after that, our platform, but again, you know, like feel free to check out competitors. As you said, like my goal is to just bring value. It's really like a multi-channel outbound. So as you mentioned, some people are super active via email. Some people are active on Instagram. Some people are active on LinkedIn, on Twitter, etc. What's important is to be able to reach out on multiple channels. And that's something we've automated basically. So what you can say is like, step 1, I'm going to send a message to Simon on LinkedIn. Then step 2, I want to send him an email. Then step 3, I want to send him maybe like a WhatsApp message. Step 4, I want to make a task so I can call him and so on and so forth.
Follow-up was something we were talking about off camera a little bit,
Yeah.
and I was just explaining that I've basically been carefully following up with everyone I've ever liked working with. So I've had quite a lot of people in my career that I've just had a really great relationship with, and I never stop following up. Any tips on that front? Any tools on that front?
Yeah, I think like follow-up, like we have like two types of follow-ups. I think there are the follow-ups obviously with sales. A lot of people, you know, like they are afraid to follow up because they don't want to be like too persistent. But I think down the line, you know, like if you have done the research on the person you reach out to, if you really know that they have a problem that you can solve, your role, either as a founder or as a sales rep, is to actually follow up until you get an answer. So what I would advise for follow-up is to always do it on multiple channels, because sometimes people are just like never answering to a certain channel and you need to have your answer. So typically like some sequences we do have maybe 9 or 10 follow-ups over like a couple of months, but at least we get an answer because we have identified very clearly that they are in our target market. And sometimes at message number 10 or 9, we get a reply and people apologize. Like, sorry, I've been, you know, like working so hard on that topic, but super happy to have a chat with you. So it's always worth doing it.
Everything we've really talked about in the end though is effort.
Definitely.
You know, like I think if you have enough effort and you use the tools to help you with that effort, you can make anybody connect with you. You've gotta follow through. Right, and not give up. Thanks for taking your time to share this today.
Thanks for having me.
No, appreciate it. We're off to have some chicken now. I'll see you guys later.